As manga enthusiasts, many of us have seen colored manga pages, poster art, cover art for manga volumes, magazine covers for Shonen Jump, and most recently, chapter covers for series in webtoons and tapas. They're eye-catching. They have drip. They're vibrant, full of mystery and excitement. But what do they all have in common? Yes, that's right, color. For those who are curious first-time visitors, I'm a noob artist on a self-guided journey to becoming a pro manga artist, making my dream a reality. At this point, I've shared up to 10 months of my art journey, including line art, value, creature creation, manga style drawing, and this video is the beginning of color studies. Now this episode is going to be a bit different from my other videos. Since childhood, most of us have had chances to color different things. So the concept of coloring shouldn't be new, right? In this video, I'll be talking about the materials that are commonly used by manga artists and the materials I plan on using for my future manga. And don't forget to stick around towards the end of this video where I'll discuss my coloring challenge and the next 3 videos. Current followers know that color is something that's been desperately missing in my drawings. Not that anyone's complained, you all are so kind and motivating. I love seeing your comments and I try my best to respond to all of you. When I bought this coloring book to practice, I wanted to find out what tools pro mangakas use to shade their illustrations. It was shocking to find out that mangakas don't all use the same materials.
But I thought that mangakas color the same way.
That's what I thought too. Leave a like if you thought the same. But no, they use materials such as colored pencils, alcohol markers, paint, and most recently, digital art applications.
And are we just going to ignore AI art?
No, we do not acknowledge AI art at this time. It doesn't check. Before I continue, I want to thank Kirby Rosanes for publishing his book Mythic Animals and giving noob artists like myself a way to practice coloring. And no, this is not a sponsored video. Kirby, if you're seeing this, thank you. You can also follow him on Instagram at Kirby Rosanes. I'll leave a description to his Instagram below if you want to see more of his artwork. After reading a few interviews and watching videos from authors Hirohiko Araki, Eiichiro Oda, and Yokinobu Tatsu, I found out that they all use Copic markers. Those are alcohol markers and are quite expensive. Additionally, they all use digital art apps like clip art to enhance their work. Here's the materials that they don't have in common. Hirohiko Araki uses gouache watercolors, ink, and acrylic paints. Eiichiro Oda uses watercolors and colored inks. Lastly, Yokinobu Tatsu uses a more modern approach to coloring by using software like Clip Studio Paint or Photoshop. As for me, I like the idea of using a combination of alcohol markers, colored pencils, and digital art applications for my illustrations. What coloring tools do you use? Do you think Copic markers are worth the price, or is it just overhyped and overpriced? Since I'm an aspiring artist on a budget, I had to find alternatives to Copic markers because they are just so expensive. I'm not going to be spending $60 for just 12 markers right now. Well, lo and behold, I found a lot of alternatives. There's Arteza, CaliArt, Prismacolor, Ohuhu markers, and many more. In the end, I chose Ohuhu markers and bought them quite a long time ago. They had a great deal running at the time. I don't remember how much they were, but I had seen many reviews and videos highly praising Ohuhu for its price and quality. So I just decided to go with them. Now I ask myself, what is it about alcohol markers that draw me to them? I don't know the exact answer or if there even is one. I think for me, it's more of a preference because Most art application software has alternatives or can mimic techniques like texture from colored pencils or watercolors and such. So what is the point, right? If I can do everything on a tablet, why do I make it harder on myself? Well, first and foremost, I realized that when using tablets, I tend to zoom in and zoom out because I begin to obsess with the little details, and instead of getting done quicker, I take longer to finish my artwork. I guess I could always train my brain to not constantly zoom in or out, but that means I would need to train my mindset. This is when I realized that coloring with alcohol markers feels effortless for me, and I feel happy when using these markers. There's something about being able to feel the nib rub across the textured paper that brings me joy. And you may be different. You may prefer coloring on the tablet, and I'm not here to say that my way is the only way or the correct way to go about shading. My point is that doing what we like motivates us to keep doing what we are doing, and it helps us to learn quicker. Now, I'm only talking about what I enjoy coloring now, but I want to explain how I plan to color in the future. I've seen artwork from many talented artists, and I'm not talking about mangakas. I mean fellow artists on YouTube and Instagram. Which artists do you follow on social media that inspire you? Drop their name and social media page below. Off the top of my head, I can name a few like Wolf Skull Jack, Shinigami Arts, PCat, and K-Art. They just know how to use color so well, and I'm just in awe. That's what I aspire to be, a creator who is able to leave impressions. For that, I have to reinvent myself, push myself, and my art. I believe the best way to go about that is by using tools that we like to use. In the past, I've used colored pencils, alcohol markers, and you've seen me draw in Procreate, so I have an idea of what it feels like to draw on tablet. I enjoy all the methods, but if I have to rank them in order of how well I like using them, it would be alcohol markers first, colored pencils, then digital art. After I ranked them, this is where I decided, why not combine them all? This is how I imagine my process will look like. First, I will sketch and draw on paper, color with markers for a majority of the image, then use colored pencil for texture. Once the traditional coloring on paper is finished, I'll scan the image to digital format and add effects like halftones, shades, script bubbles, and such in the digital art application. So yeah, that's the idea. I think this process can be used for all of my drawings. It can be used in manga pages, cover art, and even posters. I believe that is a versatile and effective way to create quality art, and it's why I've decided to move forward with this process. In the end, all I want is to share my story. I want to share the lessons I've learned in life through a fictional fantasy. But if you're like me and return to drawing in your 20s or 30s and perhaps longer, we've got a lot of catching up to do. As this is a personal passion of mine, I want to go all in as many other mangaka have done before me. All mangakas have spent a lot of time practicing their art, writing, and with many challenges. Coloring is but one step in the right direction, and I'm glad I was able to discover the tools they use to bring their imagination to life. However, we cannot reach success without a clear vision, so I'll wrap up this video with how I feel about my upcoming manga and the coloring challenge. As I get closer to the start date of my manga project, I've begun to feel a bit nervous. I don't feel ready to begin drawing or coloring yet, but I made commitments for myself and I am not looking back. If you're seeing my channel for the first time, next month, January 2025, is when I'll begin drawing my manga. Although before I start that, I want to learn how to color and shade in a professional way. This video is the beginning of my coloring challenge by testing these markers on this coloring book. The second week, I'll be coloring an anime character drawing I did, also using alcohol markers. In the third week, I'll be testing my digital art skills and using Procreate to color another anime character. Then in the fourth and last week, I'll be coloring in my character Heat Waves, who I drew in a prior video, while also using alcohol markers and colored pencils. So comment and subscribe to see the progress of my manga artist journey. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this small talk and the coloring of this griffin, and I'll see you all on the next one.